Let me go pee before we start.
Like I said, I have some in the car.
All right. This court is in session for a bench trial stemming from incident number. Stand by.
Wait, when the f did this start?
8082. Yeah, stemming from 8082, charges against one Mr. Kebun. Are all parties present and ready to proceed?
We need a copy of the report.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. What's your state ID?
10444.
Should be in your documents right now. Unless the judge shares it on the iPads.
There you go. The report should be available to both yourself and the defendant.
Your Honor, I had called one other officer. Unfortunately, there is a large situation in the city at the moment where all officers are involved.
Robin, see if he can give it to the entirety of the
Is
court.
that witness necessary
I
to
think it
proceed
should
with
be.
the case at
I don't
hand?
think he did.
It would be nice, but not completely necessary.
Oh, laundromat. Okay,
Well,
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
yeah,
become
yeah.
available at any point during the proceeding, you're welcome to call them, or if they are absolutely necessary, we can move this to a docketed matter. It's up to y'all.
Okay, thank you.
There's not even anything in here saying that your DNA is the ones that...
Hey, Zakid.
Okay.
Everybody, you right?
How's your mum?
Good. How's your mum?
Yep, good, thanks.
Looking good as ever.
Thank you. You're all dressed up.
Yeah. Got show up for court, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna show up to court?
I'm in court, right? It's open court. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
know.
that's it.
Oh, you're just in. All right, nice.
Yeah, I thought I'd stick a suit on. At least make an
Yeah.
effort, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You're all blinged out. Look at that.
Yep. It's glass, sadly.
Yeah.
Or
You've come into a bit of money or something.
nope. I've got no money actually. I'm in debt.
What?
Yeah, I went jail yesterday for a gun that was linked to the 3rd of July.
Alright. We good to
No
get this going
way.
soon?
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah, I was just looking
Nice.
over the report. It
Not
should be
guilty.
shared with you if you open the
No, not guilty.
MDT you're given in here.
Wasn't there?
Yes, that's right. Where were you with your? You're at home with your mum.
Jimmy.
Instead of shared reports at the bottom.
Yeah, sending,
Where's my
I was just
MDT?
planning stuff out. Been a little, been a little
Think about
asshole,
Formula
you know,
One.
sending fake twats out, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, I get you. Bit of fun.
But-
Reports?
Never have too much fun.
Or shit?
Shared reports at the bottom.
Mhm.
Laundromat.
How long do you reckon this one's gonna go on for?
What's that?
How long do you think this is gonna go on for?
Not
Like,
too long.
there's evidence of the DNA found, but nothing
Guys,
to
you
say
may as well
that
just
that's
drop
your
the case now,
DNA.
ain't you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can't drop it. He's already been charged.
You may as well just give him his money back.
Why do you give him his money back?
Like, it says in Ruby's statement that it came back to you and Zolo, but
What's the point of being
like-
there? What are we doing here?
Because he.
That's just her saying that, you know?
It's not him, but it's him.
Yeah.
No, it's not him, weren't it?
Oh, okay, okay.
Not guilty.
Yeah, okay.
Also the fact that Zolo's DNA's on it as well, and you're the one that got
Once
the warrant
defense
has...
has had adequate time to review the report and is ready to proceed, please.
Well,
prepare.
apparently there was 4 other warrants and only
So take
mine
your
was
time if you need
approved.
it.
Remember when you're just little scrappy, petty criminal?
My thing is
I
like,
just need about 2 more minutes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, thank you for
Farmer
taking
now.
this case.
You're
No
fine.
worries, bud. Just happy to help. We were in a. I saw some stuff earlier. We were in a docketed matter. Glad we could get this attended to.
Wait, what are you farming?
Hey, am I supposed to be able to like read shit, Robin?
Yeah, you might need to back out of the report and go back into it a couple times. You could also try resetting your MDT there. That helps. From time to
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Vegetable.
Like, press the back button that's at, like, the top right of the report.
There we go.
Apparently my first batch of watermelons had herpes, so...
What the hell? What were you doing to them?
Well, me.
Wait, so this orange part, is that Anita May saying she needs more to
Mhm.
push this? That means
Yeah.
someone else went in there and still approved it?
Yeah.
Sorry, one more time. What was your question?
Oh, sorry, I was telling my lawyer. I'm just yelling back.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, just make sure you whisper to your lawyer there. Perfect.
That's crazy.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, this should be pretty simple. So they fat IDing Taco?
Is that what they did?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they knew it was Taco.
Yeah, is Taco's DNA on anything?
Apparently, there was another bag that had Taco's DNA on it. Taco and Hazel's DNA.
Who are the officers?
Third
York Shields.
piece of
Like,
evidence.
Hmm?
There's a third piece of evidence. This gun.
Yeah, this one's a bit shaky. Just
Yeah.
DNA is
Oh, yeah. I mean, literally. Yeah, I buy bags all the time. I fucking throw them out occasionally. You know what I mean? I'm a bag
Mhm.
collector. Like, literally anybody. All this proves is that at one stage he may have touched it.
yeah. You good to proceed, Kim?
yeah, I'm good to go.
Defense is good to proceed, Your Honor.
All right, very good. The prosecution ready to proceed as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty, let me pull up some materials here.
Let's get it.
Alrighty, will the defendant please rise?
He'd stand up.
Sir, if I could use your stand, perfect. All right. Today you are charged with 1 times robbery and 1 times kidnapping. Do you understand the nature of the charges brought against you and the proceeding today? Or get you to yell.
Yes, but so
If I could get you to speak up just a little bit for me.
sorry about that. So
Thank you.
also I was also charged with a lot of possession stuff yesterday when I was arrested for this warrant. How I was caught was I was a victim of a shooting. I was GSR'd, I was negative, and I was gonna be let go. They realized I had a warrant, and then I was arrested, charged for the warrant, and then all my possessions at that time. If I essentially win this appeal, do all those other charges get dropped as well because fruit of the poisonous tree?
So this proceeding is to contest the warrant that is in incident 8082. Any other charges brought under any other incident are not being considered during this case unless the officers with regard to the other case are also available. And
Yeah, Jimbo's available. He's the one that arrested me.
Ms. York, are you prepared to proceed with a bench trial for the other incident that the defendant is referencing currently?
I would have to go ahead and contact the officers that were involved in that. I was not involved in that.
I can get Jimbo down here. He would be willing. Because I talked to him and he said he would be fine with that.
Hello, Jimbo Sutton Industries Worldwide. This is Jimbo Sutton.
Jimbo, can you come down to court? We have a judge for this thing.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
Am I being officially summoned, or is it just you asking?
I'm just asking, but it's because of the my possession charges.
What's the argument? What are they?
Basically, you just need to be here for me to handle that today.
So, am I being summoned, or are you asking me that?
Is he being summoned, Your Honor?
Or are you asking me to be there?
I'm asking you to be there, but I don't know if you're officially.
Then fuck you!
If he is available and ready to proceed with regard to that matter, they can. Otherwise, that matter would need to go to an appeal.
Okay, can you summon him? He is available and ready, but he wants to be summoned.
Okay.
Wait, Robin, come over here. Robin, don't they have to come? If he's
what
on
was the
duty,
officer's
there's
full
a
name?
judge and
Jimbo
him, right? It doesn't
Sutton?
matter. Am I tripping?
Yeah, I think that's why he's being summoned. I think they just
That's
need
fine.
the call announcement or whatever to go out.
Okay, I thought I heard otherwise.
Well, basically because I think Jimbo was just saying no because it was only Kay calling him. So like, if the judge called him, I don't.
Something
think he'd
on
go.
his dick.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Miss York, could you potentially identify the report number
One moment.
relating to his apprehension? I'm having trouble finding it.
I believe he was arrested on 8145. from that arrest on 8145, he was then charged for hot gun issues on 8144 and the warrant that he's contesting today,
Look what Jimbo just told it up.
8082.
He's so dumb, dude.
Hey, I'm looking for Officer Sutton, but I can't find him. Am I okay? Or...
Don't disrespect the judge like that, Jimbo.
Sorry, I'm Sergeant Sutton. Are you? Will I do?
That's fine.
Okay.
Can't expect me to know the rank of every officer in the
No. I saw you. I thought you were looking for another.
You're right, Your Honor. That was very rude of him.
He's not a very well-known officer, Your Honor. No.
All right. Now, prosecution, looking at these
Dumbass.
incidents, there are several officers involved. Sergeant Callista Bell, Officer Selena Frost, Officer Mellon Williams, amongst several others, McMahon, Watson, Shields. Are you prepared to proceed with a bench trial on this matter without those officers present?
That's you, Jimbo.
Which incident are we talking about? The possession charges?
Yes, so we're looking at 8144 and 8145.
Yeah, it was a large-scale shootout where the victim. Yeah, it should be all right, dog.
I didn't order some food real quick.
Sorry, not dog, Your Honor.
Do you call him dog?
All right.
Extended issue.
So we will be proceeding then with the charges under 8082, which are going to be 1 times robbery and 1 times kidnapping. For the charges under
really
this
want you to make
incident,
breakfast.
sir, how do you plead?
Okay.
I'm gonna
Not
have
guilty to all charges.
tomorrow, though, as
Okay.
we
Yeah.
seem-
I'm going to go
Yeah,
through them
tomorrow's
incident
good.
by incident, so feel
Yeah,
free to reiterate that momentarily.
I think you're
Under
gonna really
incident
like it.
number 8145, the charge pressed against you is 1 times criminal use of a firearm. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. And as a result of that, the charges pressed against you under incident 8144 are 1 times criminal possession of a firearm class 1, 1 times possession of a pharmaceutical drug without a prescription, and 1 times criminal possession of a government issued equipment. How do you plead to those charges?
Not guilty.
Okay. In that case, we will proceed with a bench trial relating to all 3 of these incidents. Given the complexity of this case, while bench trials we typically do not allow for opening and closing arguments, I will give both sides an opportunity to make an argument just to help tie all these incidents together and provide a clear picture for the court. So when you are ready, a prosecution will start with your opening statement.
Can we tag team since?
Sure. Given the expedited nature of this, I'd be happy.
Because
to
I can do 8082 and Jimbo can do the rest. How about that?
Sounds good.
I can try, Your Honor.
Heck yeah. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court and Your Honor. Let me see. Way back on July the 28th, a couple of days ago, myself and several other officers went, of course, to the laundromat where there was a hostage and 4 individuals were robbing the place. Myself, I only had visual on the 4 individuals smashing and opening up the washers and the dryers while 1 individual was holding the hostage. We saw 3 individuals, which we have in evidence and photographs, all had duffel bags on them. Negotiations were made for the 4 individuals to get into a car owned by Hazel
But I didn't
Luna.
know she testified.
At that time, the car took off and myself and Officer Pierce were in the primary vehicle. Within about 3 or 4 minutes, up on the Olympic Freeway, the car pulled over, heading westbound in the right lane, and they threw a duffel bag over the side. An officer went down there, Officer Loki, who I did call, but again is busy today. He was able to pick up the duffel bag. Then probably about 40 seconds later, a second duffel bag was thrown out of the car, going in the same direction. That duffel bag did not go over, it hit the side rail. at which point I was able to jump out since Officer Pierce was driving. I was able to document the duffel bag. Both Officer Loki and I, after the pursuit had ended and we had lost sight of the vehicle, took the duffel bags back to MRPD. At that point, we put them into our state-issued equipment to see if we could get any fingerprints from them. Fingerprints came back to 4 individuals. 3 of the individuals are commonly known and arrested as Changang. And so at that point, with their fingerprints and the visual contact that was not lost when we saw them throwing the bags out, and we have photographs of them with the bags on their back, we went ahead and put warrants out. The warrant was approved for Mr. K. As I explained before, I'm unsure why the other warrants were not approved at that time. And Mr. Kebun was arrested for that warrant. You'll find today that we have proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were working together. We have photographs of them working together, and we did not lose visual contact of them at all. Thank you. It's your turn.
All right, very good. Mr. Sutton.
Hey, how's it going, Your Honor? Ghoulettes of the courts. What is it? Yesterday? What was yesterday? Sorry, I've been on duty for a long time, Your Honor. Units responded to a pretty large gang shootout by the airport. While arriving at the gang shootout by the airport, there's some shooting going on. So officers told them to clear the area. While doing that, we started to gather suspects. Mr. Kebun was found in a vehicle with one other suspect, Mr. Daquan Dumbass. They were brought back to the triage scene where Mr. Kebun was GSR'd. Mr. Kebun came back GSR negative. But Mr. Kebun, as known by Sergeant Sutton, had an active warrant. Mr. Kebun was then placed in custody for the warrant. And after he was placed in custody for the warrant, we found that he had a firearm and all the other things in his possession. And that's what led to the possession charges and the charge for the warrant. And then the firearm was found hot from other instances, and he was charged with that.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, defense, the other 2 reports, 8144, 8145, have been shared with you both. If you need to take a moment to look over those before your opening statement, otherwise you are welcome to proceed whenever you are ready.
It should be good to proceed.
You know the main points, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today you're on over here to contest the initial warrant placed on Mr. Kebun and the subsequent charges that were found due to the arrest of said warrant. DNA alone is not enough to convict someone beyond a reasonable doubt. DNA can come from a myriad of places at a myriad of times. If all we're arresting the case on is DNA found on a bag, then God help us if that's how it stands. Thank you.
All right. Prosecution, you're free to call your first witness.
You have to call me, Jimbo.
I'd like to call Ruby York to the stand.
Very well.
Thanks.
I'm tired, guys.
Ember fucking snitched.
All right, Ms. York, if you could please raise your left hand to the sky. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury, so help you, a psychotic?
I sure do, yes.
All right. Will you be providing narrative testimony, or will be Sergeant Sutton be questioning you?
I don't know. Will Sergeant Sutton be questioning?
Sergeant Sutton doesn't know a goddamn thing about this warrant.
All right. We'll go ahead and let you do narrative testimony then, and we'll go from there. If
Okay.
Sergeant
Did
Sutton
a
has any
fucking
questions
narrative in
after
her
that.
opening.
All right. So the warrant was placed on Mr. Kebun due to the fact that visual contact was not lost on the 4 individuals that
Masked
robbed
individuals,
the
right?
laundromat. that took off in Hazel Luna's vehicle.
Also, you do not get duffel
We
bags
visually
from the
saw
laundromat.
the
There's
vehicle.
nowhere they
I
sell them or
visually
get
saw
them.
the vehicle pulled to the side.
Therefore, it had to be.
Of the
They had to have
westbound
gotten it
lane
before they
of
went there.
Olympic and throw a duffel bag over. At that point, another officer went to pick it up. And again, about another 40 seconds, we saw another bag getting thrown out of the car. It did not go over. It should have gone over by the motorbike store where the green jump is, but it did not go over. It hit the side. At that point, we pulled over to the side and let other officers take over the pursuit. And we jumped out and I picked up the bag. One bag was taken to MRPD by myself and fingerprinted. The second bag was taken to MRPD by Senior Officer Loki and fingerprinted. 4 sets of fingerprints came back. They were all very fresh. They were all in contact. Nothing had been broken on them. And so warrants were issued for the robbery of the laundromat.
All right. Mr. Sutton, any other questions for Ms. York?
Hello, Assistant Chief York. Question: when the bags were collected by officers, was chain of custody ever broken by any of the officers?
Officer Loki was the one that picked up the first bag that went over the rail, and he fingerprinted that at MRPD. The second bag was picked up by myself, and I was the person that fingerprinted that at MRPD. So no.
Okay. It's the only question I got.
All right. Cross-examination.
Don't go easy, Robin.
Assistant Chief York, were you able to identify any of the individuals on scene?
You just say G Fuel?
They were all masked.
Okay. In the report, it shows that there are 2 pieces of DNA on one bag. How did you make the decision that Mr. K was the one to have a warrant put out for him and not the other person?
Warrants were placed for all individuals.
They weren't approved. None of the other ones were approved.
Were those warrants approved?
3 out of 4 of the warrants have still not been approved.
Why is that?
I believe that the person in command that went ahead and approved the warrants, they said they approved 4, but it looks like only 1 went through.
Is the only reason you can tie Mr. Kebun to this the DNA?
Visual contact was not broken of the 4 suspects that left the
Mass
laundromat,
suspects.
hopped into Hazel Luna's car, and pursuit was directly after their vehicle.
That doesn't answer the question.
Objection non-responsive?
I'll let you ask a follow-up question if you're not happy with the answer, but she did answer the question.
No, she didn't. It's a yes or no.
And your attorney is more than qualified to ask
Assistant
follow-up
Chief
questions
York, is
if
there
the answer
anything apart from DNA tying Mr. Kebun to this?
As I said, the DNA on the bag and the fact that those bags were seen on individuals leaving and visual contact was not broken.
Assistant Chief York, can you acquire duffel bags from the laundromat?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculative.
I don't know.
Ms. York, wait until
Sorry.
the objection is heard. Do
Sorry.
we get a response from the defense?
Yeah, I can reword it. Do you know if you can get duffel bags from the laundromat?
No,
Is that no, you don't know, or no, you can't?
I don't know.
Maybe when she got there, did the suspects already have bags on?
Did the suspects at the laundromat already have the bags with them?
There were 3 individuals that had bags on their back. Yes, there are photos and evidence.
So those could possibly have been brought to the job.
Did you see who threw the bags out of the car?
No.
That's weird. They said they never broke contact.
Why don't you just get up there and do this, Mr. K?
Because
moment.
he's my lawyer. I'm just whispering in his ear.
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing good points, right?
Assistant Chief York, is Mr. Kebun's DNA entered into evidence here?
His DNA? What do you mean?
Yeah. How was it concluded that it was Mr. Kebun's DNA?
His DNA is on the state database.
Has that been provided to the court today?
That belongs to the state, so that you'd have to ask the state about that.
What the
Well, I don't think Governor K. Oil's walking through the door anytime soon.
Is that a question?
What does it mean that it belongs to the state?
No.
Due to limitations within the MDT, the court will stipulate that the DNA sequence provided in the body of the report that is labeled Mr. Kebun is in fact matching the DNA on profile for Mr. Kebun. So I do see that the state did provide that evidence by labeling the DNA sequence in the body of the report. This court will stipulate that that is in fact the DNA that is on file for Mr. Kebun.
Is that the 454, the string that starts with 4541?
Correct.
Yeah. Did the people on scene identify themselves by name at all?
No.
Assistant Chief, if you didn't have DNA on the bag, would you be able to tie Mr. Kebun to this at all?
That's a good one.
Well, no.
No further questions.
All right. Any redirect from the state?
Am I allowed to ask a few?
I mean, your guy already said no more questions.
That's good. We're good. That was a pretty solid last question anyway.
I'll let you. I'll give you a moment to confer with your counsel there. Are there further questions that need to be asked from the defense?
I think we just make it more clear. Did you see any of the suspect's face? She's obviously going to say no.
For the purposes of integrity,
When you arrive, were they
the
still
questioning
actively
come
robbing the
from
bank,
your
which would
attorney
mean
rather than yourself.
they didn't fully get into the back safe, which would mean they arrived with the bags.
Yeah.
Which would mean they possibly bought them from someone or somewhere. But if you think you're all that's already touched base on, then we're good.
I think it's already been covered.
All right, we're good.
We are good to proceed, Your Honor.
Very well.
I have one question on redirect. Assistant Chief Ruby, have you ever seen the suspects wearing similar outfits to what they were wearing that day?
Yes.
Objection, facts, not an evidence?
I mean, there's pictures of the people in the report. I'm asking if her time as an officer, she's ever seen suspects wearing similar clothing.
I agree the facts are not evidence, so I do believe that this is the proper way for them to lay the foundation to enter those facts into evidence. If there's any other objections that you have with regard to this question, I'd be happy to hear them before overruling.
I'll point out my concerns with it in my closing.
Very well.
I'd like to call.
In that case, objection is overruled. You may answer the question.
This is going to say, someone come buy clothes from a shop.
Objection,
Yes.
closet ID.
Objection weird?
That's
my
objection
only
weird,
question.
Your Honor.
Thanks. That's my own question.
We'll all right. We'll go ahead and strike that last bit from the record there. Ms. York, you're free to step down. Is Ms. York being marked for recall by the defense?
Do you think we need for anything else?
It doesn't hurt, right? She's going to be here anyway.
Down next time.
We'll reserve our right to recall her, although we don't think we will, but she's going to be here anyway.
I am. Thank you.
Prosecution may call your next witness.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, as I said, there's a large situation going on and they can't be here.
Understood. Do you intend to call Sergeant Sutton with regard to the other incidents?
In regard to the other incidents, yes.
All right.
It's you.
Hey
Good
guys.
Luck. Good luck, Jimbo. Look good.
Thanks, sweetheart.
All right, Sergeant, if I get you to step up to the stand, raise your left arm up to the sky for me.
What's that? You can I sit down or?
I don't have
no, you can
a
sit down,
lot
that's
of outfits to choose from. Complete outfits? I have maybe like fucking
Do you swear and affirm that
are
the
actually
testimony
like
that you are about to give
have
is
a
the
mask
truth,
to
the
go
whole
with
truth,
them?
and nothing but the truth, under
Or
the
don't
pains and
look like
penalties
some
of perjury,
fucking
so help
random ass
you
like
harms.
Yes.
shit that makes no sense?
All right.
I probably have like fucking 8.
Prosecution, do you intend to question Sergeant Sutton, or you would like him to provide narrative testimony?
I'm getting more made.
I'll ask him if that's okay.
Anyways, you
All right,
can't
go for it.
fucking. That's like.
Hi, BCSO, Sergeant Jimbo Sutton. Jimbo
That's me.
Mary Sutton.
8 is not cap. A lot of
That
my
is my
outfits are
real name.
scuffed. There's missing parts to them,
Mary
or shit
Christine Sutton.
wasn't added, or certain
Yep,
things
sorry
are
about
scuffed
that.
or
MC,
invisible.
all the way.
That's why I don't use a lot of
Could
the
you
stuff.
please tell us how you found Mr. Kebun last night?
Mr. Kebun and Mr. Dumas were found in a vehicle parked directly adjacent. He was slumped over in the vehicle.
Was he injured?
I'm getting more clothes, mate. I got
Yes,
I got
Mr.
shit coming.
Kebun was injured.
And did you attend to the individuals in the car?
Yes, we took them out of the vehicle. We brought them to
But anyways, that's
the
not a
triage
valid
point,
thing.
and then we gave them first aid to stop the bleeding until EMS arrived.
Okay. At that point, when were you aware that he had a warrant?
I had known from a prior experience or prior knowledge. Every morning when I wake up, I check the MDW, and I'm current on all warrants. Or I try to be as current as possible.
How did you identify him at the scene?
Mr. Kebun was responding to the name Mr. Kebun, and
No, I was
he's
not.
wearing the same outfit seen in the past.
What were the circumstances of the scene?
Can you clarify the question?
Yeah, why did you respond to that area?
Oh, there was shots fired. There was people going around shooting with guns, and Mr. Kebun was found. There was a bunch of shots fired.
Were the 2 individuals in the car tested for GSR?
I can only state to Mr. Kebun, who's the one I dealt with. He was GSR tested and was negative.
At what point did you decide to search Mr. Kebun?
After Mr. Kebun, because I knew he had a warrant, after he had gotten medical, I frisked him, found there was a large bulge. That's when I searched his persons and found a weapon and a bunch of other stuff.
That's right, large bulge.
It was a very, very large bulge. It was astronomically large bulge.
Did he get medical on the scene?
Well, he got first aid training by me, or first aid medical by me, until EMS was to show up. I just stopped the bleeding, and then medical was there from EMS.
Did you transport to CMC?
I did not. The EMS did.
So when did you frisk Mr. Kebun?
On scene after EMS we had stopped the bleeding, and after he was stable and talking with us.
What did you find when you frisked him?
I think I'd have to look exactly what it was. But
Is she
it was
just
a,
asking shit to ask shit?
Some painkillers.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I believe
This is
some
all on the report.
marijuana and a fentanyl pill.
After the hospital, what happened?
Mr. Kebun was taken to MRPD for booking.
He says it's different every.
And that's when we booked him.
Did the gun come back to other scenes?
Yes, it did. After searching the serial number and the projectile of the weapon, it came back to 3 incidents of shootings.
I don't even know much to ask Jimbo. Just like, if it wasn't for
Did
the
you
warrant,
ballistic
would you
test
arrested him?
the gun?
Yes, and I looked at the serial number that was on the side of the gun.
While at MRPD?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought.
It was the middle of a question,
Sorry,
almost
sorry.
forming. It was
That's on me.
almost there. That's okay. Did Mr.
Apologies.
Kebun request a warrant review?
Mr. Kebun did.
Objection, Your Honor. Is he talking about like 20 different people? Because every time he says this person's name, it's a different name. So I'm just a little confused with this. But we talking about the same guy here?
Sorry, I'm not sure what's the correct pronunciation, so I'm just.
I think
them
it's
all
his
out until I
southern
yeah.
accent.
I'm just testing them all out so I can get the right one.
Okay.
For the edification of this court, sir, what is the proper pronunciation of your name?
Kebun.
Kevin. All right.
Let's hear him say it.
I
Kebun.
like this.
Kebun.
Kebun.
There you
Am I saying
go.
that right? I think we're
Yep.
saying the same thing.
Let's keep that going. Let's keep that
I
going.
think we're saying the same thing.
Good.
Who reviewed the bench warrant?
I believe it was Justice Bailey.
Was it approved or denied?
Objection, hearsay.
Rebuttal is that it was Sergeant Sutton who was communicating with the justice in regard to the warrant. So it can't be hearsay. It's the two of them talking.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
He's
Response from the defense.
he's testifying to what Judge Bailey would have said. That's literally hearing what Judge Bailey said. That's hearsay.
That is not hearsay, Your Honor.
All right.
All
Hearsay is an out-of-court statement offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Whether or not this is being entered for the truth of the matter asserted is the question at hand. Whether Justice Bailey said so or not, it is a matter of record within this court that he did, in fact, uphold the warrant. And given that, I will overrule the objection. It is
But
not
it
just
was
It is
hearsay.
substantiated within the record.
Yeah, it was hearsay though.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, we don't have. How do we know that Judge Bailey
And
said that?
how many incidences was Mr.
Do you want me to answer
Kebun?
the other question?
Oh, what was the other question? Yeah.
One thing-
Go on. Yeah. Yes or no?
Judge Bailey said that the warrant for Mr. Kebun was valid.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to
All
see
right.
what you
That's all, Your Honor.
Very well. Cross-examination from the defense.
I mean, is there? I don't think any of this even matters.
Yeah.
You gonna ask anything?
One moment, Your Honor.
No
Check
worries.
over some things.
You mind if I eat something real quick, Judge?
That's perfectly fine.
I got diabetes.
Do you need food or you got it?
No, I got diabetes. That's not good.
Officer Sutton, was Mr. Kebun under arrest for the incident you found him in?
Let's go.
No, he was not. He was under arrest for the warrant.
Was Mr. Kebun charged for the incident or just the warrant and the hot gun coming from it?
Can you clarify the question?
The report about the shootout at the airport area, was Mr. Kebun charged for anything to do with that?
No, Mr. Kevin was not charged with anything. It was possession charges in the warrant.
I think that's it. Just basically being like the only reason you were arrested was because of the warrant.
Yeah.
No further questions for Sergeant Sutton.
Okay. For the purposes of the edification of the court, Sergeant Sutton, were Mr. Kebun's possessions documented in any of the 3 reports?
And no, well, they are documented. It's just not in that report. I have it on my hard drive here. I just didn't know this was on the bench, so I couldn't update it and add it. We can add it if you'd like. I mean,
It's
Too late.
discovery.
A little
Well,
late for that, son.
well, no one told me it was. No one gave me the chance to complete the report, so I didn't have 24 hours to complete.
He
the
did have
report.
24 hours.
No.
But at the beginning of this case, when I asked if the prosecution was ready to proceed, that included in that is ensuring that the reports are completed and ready
I'm
to
not
proceed
gonna lie,
to
there's
trial.
so much
There's
evidence in that
that's missing
report,
from
I
those reports.
missed that your
This is
positions
why
with
we're not
that.
ready to proceed.
Finish
Is
it
that the
before you
case?
go back on patrol.
Well,
They're
I
like,
mean,
no.
I think the report was already shared to the defense
Look at how much evidence is in that report.
before I even got here.
Like, I just missed the case. with
These
possessions, I
reports were
don't
not
know,
shared
like,
with the defense until after the prosecution's opening statement was already concluded.
At least 100 pieces. of
Yeah, I
evidence in
mean,
there.
this is open court. It's not like a formal. I mean, this is what it is. I mean, I have it here. If
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, like, if you look at the report, look at how much
you
evidence is in
literally
there, like,
summoned me
there's
and I
nothing.
had to run here. I mean,
I've been
I
telling
mean,
people
for
also
the
to get it
shooting
done the
yesterday.
same day.
I've
and
been from
they think
incident to incident
it's
all
like
day
more
dealing
work.
with things.
No, motherfucker, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the prosecution wish to make a motion to add evidence?
Your Honor,
Yes, Monsieur.
in regard to 8145, the prosecution would like to motion for evidence of Mr. Kebun's pockets to be added to this case.
About
The
8144?
defense would like to object to that.
What is the basis for the objection?
He's had like 20 hours to add it.
Sergeant Sutton, when did this arrest take
I
place?
believe more. It was 24 hours ago.
I have no idea. It was whenever it was on the report there.
24 hours.
It says that the report was created at 23:48 GMT on Wednesday, the 31st of July.
I was arrested before that.
Sergeant Sutton, was Mr. Kebun placed under arrest with regard to incident 8145 or 8144?
Well, he was placed under arrest for the warrant. So 81, whatever the warrant was.
Okay. When he was apprehended for the warrant,
Angel,
was that
what's
at
up?
the beginning of 8144 or 8145?
Shout out Angel for
Confusing me here,
fucking
man.
I'm trying to get it
doing
cleared
so
in
many
my own
court
head.
cases, making this shit move.
Jimbo, what scene was the report you found him on?
8144 when he was charged with his possessions.
Okay.
8145 is a completely different one, which is a hot gun. 8144.
So 44 is the one that
possession
doesn't have
charges.
my shit?
The warrant was 8082.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
But like, look at how much evidence there is. Like,
it's a
I just missed that your possessions went in there. That's my fault. You think the judge picked up on it?
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. If you look at the reports in there,
This is also where they try to get Curtis on gang related.
All
And
right,
I
so I
got him
think
up for that.
essentially everybody else's
it's 9:05.
possessions from this incident got logged. Why were Mr. Kebun's not logged? You're saying you didn't get to it?
Yeah, I didn't get to it. I went to sleep not too long after that. And then today I've just been bouncing back and forth to reports dealing with things.
Given that
I think-
incident did take place over 24
doesn't
hours
look good for
prior
Jimbo.
to the beginning of this bench trial.
That's weird.
The
And that
court
helps
was
us,
not
though. It's a good thing.
inclined to grant the motion to add evidence.
He forgot ours, but there was 4 warrants that were supposed to be pushed,
Also, like
and
to
only
point out,
mine got
Jimbo saying
approved.
he's been on duty for a long time. So
What's that got
Is-
to do with
what-
anything?
What all
What's
evidence
relevant?
is the prosecution moving to add? What is the list of evidence that you're wishing to add?
The list of
Do you-
evidence is the items inside Mr. Kebun's pockets at the time of arrest.
Okay. Is the weapon that was allegedly on
items?
Mr. Kebun's person logged as evidence in this report already?
Yes.
Do you know the serial number of that weapon?
I think it's on the report there. Go ahead, let me look. It's like MI something. Let me find it. There's a lot of evidence on here.
Well, the reason we're listen, I'm guilty of all that shit,
It was
right? But
MILJ.
what we're trying to argue, chat, is fruit of the poisonous tree. I was only arrested because of the warrant that we're trying to appeal and say
So
was
the evidence,
bogus.
the possessions
All
that
the
were
all
removed
the
from
evidence
Mr.
is in there.
is in there, just not the photo of
Yeah, correct.
it on his person.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad warrant. And the warrant was
at this time the court will be denying the motion to add evidence.
That's really good for
We'll
us,
need to
right?
proceed with the evidence that is provided within the report. In the future, please make sure that all evidence is in reports prior to matters proceeding to trial, as adding evidence mid-trial is more prejudicial than it is probative, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Didn't you
I
say
get.
to
I
Jimbo
mean, you
yesterday
literally
you
called
were
me
gonna
here,
take this
and
to
we
court?
started this.
Ah,
At 5
Oh
a.m.
yeah, see, no, we actually tried to take it
All good.
to court that night.
Yeah, I was in the cells next to
We can continue with questioning. If there
He
is any
fucked
further
up.
questions for
Doesn't the
Officer-
legislation
so there
say you
are
have 72 hours to complete reports?
Jimbo,
If it's fired.
to be fair, I told you in the cell I was taking this to court ASAP.
All right. Regardless, we'll talk about that momentarily. Miss York, do you have any redirect for Sergeant Sutton?
Not at this time, Your Honor, no.
All right. Is Sergeant Sutton being marked for recall by the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah, we don't need
All right. Sergeant Sutton, you may step down. Thank you. Does the prosecution have any other witnesses?
Goddamn lazy ass Jimbo.
Sorry, what did you say, Your Honor?
No worries. Do you have any other witnesses that you'd like to call before you rest your case in chief?
No, unfortunately, the others are unable to attend at this time.
Understood. Before we move to the defense's case in chief, is there any evidence that you would like to highlight for the court?
The evidence is already in 8082. You can see from the 5 photos of the suspects, you can see the duffel bags on their backs of the suspects, the same duffel bags, or 2 of the duffel bags that were retrieved. You can see the fresh DNA that was printed out from the state-issued fingerprint machine. And that's all we want to bring to your attention, Your Honor.
Very well. In that case, the defense may begin their case in chief. You may call your first witness.
Do you think we need to call Ruby? I'm just conferring with my client to see if he might testify.
No worries.
I can go up there, no problem.
Is there anything? Or to just think if there's any.
Really, you just gotta ask me, hey,
What
do
else?
you have use duffel bags type shit, right? And I'm like, yeah, all the time. I drop them all the time because they're heavy, so I don't like to carry them. I use them and then I just leave them or give them away to someone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll just keep it tight with those questions.
Yeah, don't open up the scope too much for them.
Your Honor, we'd like to call Mr. Kebun to the stand.
All right. Mr. Kevin, come on up. I have a couple questions for you before we get started. Alrighty, sir. Are you aware of your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
All right. By testifying today, do you understand that you are waiving your right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you are not required to testify today, and that you may be found not guilty of all charges pressed against you, even if you choose not to testify?
Yes, sir.
Given this and information and understanding, do you still choose to waive your Fifth Amendment right and testify in today's case?
Yes, sir.
All right. In that case, go ahead and please raise your left hand to the sky. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury, so help you psychotic?
Yes, sir.
All right. Defense, you may begin your direct examination.
How are you doing today, sir?
Fabuloso.
So do you recall hearing Assistant Chief York's testimony about duffel bags?
Yes.
You ever used a duffel bag before?
Yes, many times.
What do you do with those bags?
So usually I purchase them up at the U-Tool near Sandy Shores for various reasons to carry a large amount of items. Once I'm done with them, I usually discard them or give them away to people as they are very heavy. They take up a lot of space in your pocket, so I don't like to carry them around after I'm done using them. So I'll just kind of drop them or hand them off to whoever needs them.
No further questions from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Prosecution cross-examination.
Hello, Mr. Kebun.
Hello.
Can you fit a lot in a duffel bag?
I define a lot.
I mean, are they good to hold heavy objects?
Oh, I mean,
Objection relevance?
Zero, what's the relevance of this question?
Well, the relevance is it was already opened up by the defense here, talking about duffel bags and what could be done with duffel bags.
All right. I'll give you a little bit of leeway to see where we're going with this. Objections overruled.
Okay, ask it again.
Can duffel bags, because you already said that you have, plenty that you've used before, can they hold a large quantity or a large weight?
You're asking two questions in one. I mean, you could have a large quantity of feathers, but if you try to put a large quantity of, weights in there or something, could we simplify the question here?
Sure. In a duffel bag, roughly, let's just say, how many gold coins could they hold?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not a duffel bag manufacturer.
You have experience with duffel bags.
Oh, well, I mean, I use a duffel bag or a bag like any other normal person.
You stated that you have purchased many duffel bags.
Yeah.
And yet you're unsure that they can hold weight?
Well, I'm just not sure what weight. I mean, I don't buy duffel bags and run tests on them. I just buy duffel bags and use them.
Did you purchase a duffel bag on July 28th?
Objection scope.
The scope is the date of the incident, and the scope is duffel bags.
I never asked him about July 28th.
Your Honor, that's why we're here. Your Honor?
Yes, give me just a moment.
Sorry.
All right, I will sustain the objection. I do find that it's outside the scope of the direct examination after reviewing the questions that were asked on direct examination.
So just to clarify, I can no longer ask about duffel bags. Is that correct?
No, not duffel bags, and his general experience with duffel bags was brought up in the scope. However, the incident at hand, specifically the incident at the laundromat, was not brought up on direct examination, and therefore any questions regarding that incident would be outside the scope of direct examination.
Were you at the laundromat on July 28th?
Objection scope.
Sustained.
I don't think she understands, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
What's your question?
For clarification from the court, on cross-examination, you are limited to asking questions that are within the scope of what was opened on direct examination.
Okay, but nothing. Okay, so nothing was opened, correct?
The limited questioning that was asked on direct examination was with regard to his general use of duffel bags and what he usually does with duffel bags. No questions were asked on direct examination with regard to the incident at hand.
So what is the point of us being here?
What? I mean, you don't have to ask me any more questions.
So you are free to ask any questions that are within the scope of direct examination. Otherwise, if you were concerned that the defense was not going to adequately open the scope,
she could have done this before she tried to charge me with the warrant.
Witness and direct examined him as a witness. However, as a criminal defendant, he also has the right to invoke his Fifth Amendment right.
Those are the questions she should have asked
that
me
would
before
invalidate
she
him from providing
fucking,
any testimony with
you
regard
know,
to this
put the
matter,
warrant
if he
up.
were to
All right.
invoke his Fifth Amendment rights.
All right, one moment.
No worries.
Council is incoherent at this time, so no more questions.
Very well. Any redirects for Mr. Kebun?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kebun, you're free to step
Thank you,
down.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Any further witnesses from the defense?
No further witnesses from the defense.
Okay. Does the defense wish to highlight any evidence prior to moving to closing statements?
I prefer to do it in closing, Your Honor.
All right. Prosecution, do you need a moment to prepare a closing statement, or are you ready to proceed?
No, we're good.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
So, Your Honor, and ladies and gentlemen of the court, it is beyond evident that Mr. Kebun was found at a scene of which a warrant was currently issued for his arrest. At that situation, he was arrested. At that time, he was frisked, and a gun was found on him, which led to more charges. And in regard to the warrant, no visual contact again was lost of the individuals that left the laundromat with the bags on their back as usual, and the fact that no visual contact was lost of the car leaving with the individuals inside and the bags being thrown out. Therefore, because of the fingerprints that came back on the bags, so he's definitely guilty of being a part of the robbery on the laundromat from July 28th and the kidnapping of Mr. Stinky.
Chat, relax. She's gonna.
Thank you.
She
The
knows,
sergeant
but
doesn't
she's
have
just,
anything
you know,
further to
she's gonna
provide.
try to push it. She's gonna try to stand on what she
Yeah,
pushed. But
the possession charges that she
says it
Mr.
on
K is being
purpose.
charged with, all the things that were received off Mr. K and their evidence are in
Yep,
the
definitely
evidence report
guilty.
locker, and are in the report, as possession and the gun, that he was taking off his persons.
Thank you. Defense, closing argument.
Now, I don't know if
Whenever
it's a
you're ready.
smart
If you need
move,
moment
but
to prepare, you are more than welcome.
we're
to
here,
do
so she ain't gonna just
I'm going to
fucking.
proceed, Your Honor.
She ain't gonna say, nah, he's not guilty.
Your Honor, peoples of the court, today we have a flimsy connection at best. DNA on a bag
Here we go,
is
Robin.
not enough to convict someone beyond a reasonable doubt that they committed a robbery or kidnapping. Mr. Kebun has testified he uses duffel bags a lot. If you're looking for an example of reasonable doubt, I mean, Mr. Kebun leaves a duffel bag lying around. These robbers find it, grab it, not having to pay the money from the U-Tool. If they're willing to steal from a laundromat, they're willing to just take from the street. Assistant Chief testified to not seeing who threw the bag out of the window. She also testified to not being able to identify anyone in the laundromat. The hostage wasn't able to identify someone. Frankly, no one was identified on scene. All we have is some fingerprints on a bag that may or may not have happened at the time of the robbery. We just don't know. And in regards to Mr. K's possessions, well, as was shown, they were not put into evidence. And the only reason that Mr. K's possessions were even looked at in the first place was because of the warrant from the laundromat that we have just discussed.
Very clean.
DNA alone is not enough to convict. The police need more, and in this case, they don't have it. Mr. K should be found not guilty on all charges. Thank you.
All right. This court will go into recess while I deliberate. Given the complexities of this matter, it will take me a bit to reach a verdict. I expect roughly 20 minutes. We will hopefully reconvene no later than 45 after the hour.
Ruby, Jimbo, appreciate you guys taking this case in to begin with. So we didn't have to wait 3 weeks to do it.
I was about to say something to you, but
Well, I'm being genuine. I'm being genuine.
I was gonna say womp womp, but
I'm literally gonna win. Ruby, those questions you were trying to ask me are the exact questions I was trying to tell you earlier. Is what you should have called me after you suspected me of doing it, and I would have came in and answered those questions. But when I'm on the stand, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Robin.
Yeah, that's great.
That's my point. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer.
The notes from last night.
I know. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah.
What do you think? Solid.
Stuff's happening outside the courthouse.
Right outside the courthouse? Is the judge okay?
Right outside. It is not the judge.
You look nice today.
Was a
Lily.
good case, Ruby. You fought hard.
I will always fight. Oh,
Really?
Next time,
Leave me?
next
Are
time
you serious? Now you know
I
what?
will
Fuck
always-
you. I hope you lose.
What,
Leave
you
me
little
hanging like
bugger?
that in front of the whole courtroom.
Did she
That's
just dodge
right.
all your attempts for a high five?
That's ridiculous.
It's actually pretty neat.
Anyways,
we'll fuck up Ember.
all right. I appreciate everybody's patience. Is everybody here ready to proceed? It looks like it. All right. Today we're here to hear the matter of the people versus Mr. Kebun with regard to 3 different instances. That is incident number 8082, incident number 8144, and incident number 8145. This court has reached a verdict in all 3 matters and will read the verdict now. In relation to incident 8082, the prosecution presented evidence that Mr. Kebun's fingerprints were found on a duffel bag, which police maintained visual contact of from the point of the laundromat robbery to the point where it was thrown out of the vehicle fleeing from the laundromat robbery. The state argued that the presence of Mr. Kebun's fingerprints on the duffel bag proved his involvement in the robbery and the kidnapping. However, the defense contended that Mr. Kebun frequently handles duffel bags and that his fingerprints could have been placed on the bag before the laundromat robbery occurred. This court pays particular attention to the presence of the second set of fingerprints on the duffel bag, which this court finds supports the defense's argument. Therefore, this court finds sufficient reasonable doubt to find Mr. Kebun not guilty of the 1x robbery and 1x kidnapping in relation to incident 8082.
Oh my God.
The defense also argued today that if Mr. Kebun is found not guilty of the charges from the laundromat robbery incident, the possessions found on him following his apprehension should be considered fruit of the poisonous tree. Now, despite this court finding reasonable doubt regarding charges from incident 8082, a bench review by Justice Bailey already determined that sufficient probable cause existed for the warrant, and therefore this court upholds the validity of Mr. Kebun's arrest and the possessions discovered as a result. Moving into incident 8144
But that wasn't until after
Mr.
I was
Kebun
arrested.
was apprehended under the warrant. Sergeant Sutton testified that the firearm with serial number MILJHGCM4L logged into evidence and stored in the evidence locker associated with this incident was found on Mr. Kebun. However, this report did not document Mr. Kebun's possessions at the time of arrest, and no evidence was presented by the defense to counter Sergeant Sutton's sworn testimony. Mr. Kebun was charged in this incident with 1x criminal possession of a firearm class 1, 1x possession of a pharmaceutical drug without a prescription, and 1x criminal possession of a government-issued equipment. Without documentation of Mr. Kebun possessing a pharmaceutical drug without a prescription or any government-issued equipment, he is found not guilty of both of those charges. However, based on the testimony and evidence provided today, this court does find Mr. Kebun guilty of 1x criminal possession of a firearm class 1. Lastly, under incident 8145,
I am confused. What am I getting
Mr.
charged
Kebun
with?
was charged with 1x criminal use of a firearm as the gun found on him was linked to this incident. Based on the established possession of the weapon, this court also finds Mr. Kebun guilty of 1x criminal use of a firearm under that incident. So in summary, Mr. Kebun today is found not guilty of 1x robbery, 1x kidnapping, 1x possession of a pharmaceutical drug without prescription, and 1x criminal possession of government-issued equipment. He is, however, found guilty of 1x criminal possession of a firearm class 1 and 1x criminal use of a firearm. Mr. Kebun is to be refunded for the not guilty charges, and these charges are to be removed from his record. That is the order of this court.
What about the other 2 hot gun charges?
Wait.
What other 2 hot gun
I'm confused.
What he was charged with? Never mind. Don't even worry about it.
Wait, what?
Ready,
Not guilty. Not guilty. You bang the gravel. Not guilty.
Can I ask you a couple questions, Your Honor?
Yes. I'm free for questions.
I'm
give me
confused
one
why
sec.
you
So,
would find me guilty while ruling that the warrant it was a bad warrant. The
so
judge
the warrant.
didn't.
I never
hold
said
on.
that the warrant was a bad warrant.
Well, obviously it was. You didn't charge me with the stuff.
No. So again, there's two different standards there. In order for a warrant to be valid, it must contain probable cause. In order for you to be found guilty, you must be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. While today I did rule that they did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you were guilty of those charges, Justice Bailey already did review the warrant and find that
But he
probable
didn't.
cause
He
existed
didn't.
in the
He
warrant.
did it until after I was arrested.
I understand that. However,
And I was
he
just
still
asking
determined
for
that probable
a
cause.
trial. Not whatever the fuck he did.
Okay. And so I guess regardless of that, he came to determination, and I also came to the determination that sufficient probable cause existed for the warrant. However, the presence of the second set of fingerprints establishes reasonable doubt, which makes you found not guilty of those charges. There are two different burdens of proof.
Do you
So
understand
while I
how
do
this
believe
shit
the
works,
evidence
though?
reached probable cause, it did not meet the standard of beyond.
Do you understand how this works, though? They put out a warrant. You go to jail and do the time and pay the fine. There is no. You don't have a chance.
So you did.
So you're
there are
saying
two,
they could
two
put
opportunities.
warrants out for people that are going to get arrested, sent to jail for the time, and fined because they think it could be them. That's what you're saying. Now, on top of that, I lost my train of thought.
So with regard to the overall process of the judicial procedure within the state of San Andreas, you are right in that if sufficient probable cause exists,
I know what I was gonna
they
say.
can't just throw warrants out for no reason, right? If sufficient probable cause exists, they may issue a warrant that has to be
My
signed
thing
off
is,
by
though,
a command member.
they could have easily called me that same day this went down and questioned me. They could have been like, oh, we got this guy's DNA. Let me try to reach out and do an investigation. Let me try to question them. Let me try to bring them in. They don't do any of that.
That
They just
gets
throw
more
out the
into their
warrants
procedure,
and
which I'm not.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
what I'm
gonna give
saying.
an
I'm just
opinion
trying
on.
to. I'm not asking you to reverse anything. I'm just trying to
I understand.
paint the picture to you how the system's kind of flawed and fucked up. I was lucky and blessed to get this trial. Most people won't. Most people are gonna be sitting there waiting weeks to get a case. You know how it is. It's so fucking backed up.
There have been 3 or 4 bench trial requests in the last couple of days, and I've taken every single one of them.
Well, that's what I
I've
was trying
also
to do
taken
last
5
night.
different docket cases.
They didn't do a bench trial. And instead, he did whatever the fuck that was.
So because the officers needed for that were not on duty at the time, they can't necessarily force a bench trial when you're apprehended for a warrant. If the officers are available,
Well, that's
and
what I
ready to
wanted.
go
If
and
I
do
had
it,
a bench trial then and there, I would have been dropped on all charges. Instead, he did some bullshit that ended up just hurting me.
I think what he's saying is that because Ruby wasn't available last night, it couldn't have happened.
Yeah, I understand that.
and that's where,
But
regardless,
if I
if
had
you were
the bench
apprehended and
trial-
those possessions were found on you and you were found not guilty of the warrant, the arrest and the possessions found on you during the arrest would have still been upheld.
But I wasn't arrested for any. I wasn't arrested for anything
You were
except
arrested
the
for-
warrant.
Right. But you had an outstanding warrant, so
But the warrant was bogus.
the arrest is valid. But that's where the difference is here.
And why am
The
I getting
warrant
criminal
wasn't
use?
bogus. The warrant did have probable cause. It didn't have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that you were guilty of those offenses.
Well, then the
But
warrant
it did have
system needs to
probable cause.
change. Until you do the proper shit for shit like that, I feel like reach out, try to do more investigating. You shouldn't be able to put out a warrant that's gonna get people arrested.
So
Because it's just gonna back up you guys are just gonna have tons of fucking pointless cases where it's like, okay, this case is pretty fucking.
well,
like,
they
pretty-
have the
pretty
ability
plain.
to know. Obviously, they believed they had proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and they had
No, they
the
didn't.
opportunity.
No, they didn't.
I mean, Ms.
You
York
see,
made
you don't
a
agree?
compelling argument in her opening and closing statement that
Well,
she
hold on.
did prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I disagree.
I'm telling you,
but she did
outside
argue
of
that
this,
she did.
They all, Jimbo, my restaurant, they all agreed it wasn't enough. They didn't want to charge him with it, but how the system is, they have to. When the warrant's out, they have to charge you with it if the officer's not around because there's no arguing it. Everyone I talked to was like, when I talked to Ruby, she's like, oh, that wasn't approved. That wasn't even approved.
So Ruby put out the warrant, and then she did say
She
that
put it
a
up
command
for review
member
because she
did
wanted
approve.
to see, she wanted to get feedback on it, and they just approved it. She didn't even, she was even like, what the fuck? But obviously she's gonna come here and fight that.
I believe that's her standard procedure. Even though she is a command member, I do believe they do not approve their own warrants.
I'm gonna
They
tell you,
typically
just
go to a secondary command member to review them when they are the ones pushing the warrant.
I understand, but the officers that were arresting me did not agree with the warrant. They did not think it was enough. I'm just saying, because you said you thought it was enough. They didn't. They all said they didn't think it was enough.
As did Justice Bailey as well. So that's the other thing that I have to contend with is a justice already did a review of probable cause with regard to that warrant and determined there was sufficient probable cause.
I think we just need to rework the system then. Because you guys are getting innocent people sent to fucking jail. I can't get those years back in my fucking life though. And this is a frequent thing. This happens a lot, all the time.
With regard to the overall system of being sent to Bolingbroke before an appeal is issued. So I understand that you are concerned that that might create backlog. On the flip side, and I'm not necessarily arguing that there should be one way or the other. This is more me playing a devil's advocate role. In the event that every case had to go to trial before you got sent to Bolingbroke, if you simply said, I plead not guilty, that would create an insane backlog for the Department of Justice.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just talking about for warrants. Just because you find a bag with DNA on it doesn't mean you could put a warrant out. You should have to further investigate that. Talk to whatever witnesses or get more than just a bag with DNA on it to put a warrant out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying all the other shit. Just for warrants.
With regard to whether or not the DNA was sufficient to establish probable cause.
Like aren't investigations a thing for a reason? Putting out warrants is lazy police work, and you guys doing this supports lazy police work. You're going to continue the cycle of lazy police work because they could just, oh well, could be him. Let me just put a bag out. If they appeal it, they appeal it. It's a cycle of just lazy ass shit, and you're just going to end here. But if you should be able to put a warrant out if you. I understand what you're saying, reasonable suspicion, probable cause. Mm-hmm. But you guys should be promoting. Why not do an investigation? These motherfuckers can't do an investigation to save their life. Why do you all these cops got fired recently for? Because they can't do fucking investigations. Make them do investigations. Make them do some proper work instead of this fucking bullshit. Imagine I got it sent up there for fucking 400 months. I would have wasted 400 months of my life. Come here, get it fucking reversed. Well, shit. Where's my time? These dudes don't deserve. We're fucking guilty until proven innocent with this warrant bullshit.
I have suggested a new system, to the justices that they're looking at that could help alleviate that. Basically, bail, where you pay an amount and you agree to appeal it.
I don't necessarily disagree with a concept like that. I do have some other comments with regard to that. However, I don't want to put any words in Justice Bailey's mouth, as he was the one that made the determination with regard to the probable cause with this warrant. And he obviously does outrank me by 2 different levels there.
But I'm just saying, maybe you guys just don't fully understand how it all works. Or just you don't understand what the dominoes that it creates of. Okay, probable cause, but you don't understand these are just people getting you don't. It's not like you have the trial and then you're sentenced to your shit. You're just sentenced to your shit. And I understand you can't do that trial, but since you can't do that trial, I think the warrant system just needs to be a little different because people are going to jail for long ass times, appealing it like 3 weeks later and getting reversed. But it's like, okay.
And that's where something like the bail system could come into place. I believe that's underway in talks within the justices. They kind of do that outside of us and just amongst the justices themselves. So that is definitely a potential solution to the concern that you're raising. It's overall a systematic issue more than anything I can address with regard to this case in particular. And then with regard to the last bit of concerns that you do have with regard to this case in particular and the warrant with the DNA on the bag, I would refer that and those questions to Justice Bailey because I don't.
I think the easier fix, to be honest, is just raise the standard for warrants. If the warrant is not enough, to arrest them, well, then that's when they would investigate and gather more.
Yep.
That's just my opinion.
You mind if I talk to Dutch for a second, or
Because
A
our
question
justice
in
system,
regards-
our justice system doesn't work like the traditional. It's not like, oh, all right, you got this warrant, we're gonna bring you in, and then you're gonna have a fair trial, and then you'll be sentenced. No, it's like, oh, you're sentenced, and then you'll have your trial.
I get you. Let me give him a moment because I've given you guys a good amount of
Yeah,
time, and if you guys want to keep
No, that's all,
talking
that's all.
after, I'm more than happy to. All right.
All right, hey, good work, Robin. That's a fucking,
hang
that's a
around
double
for
my
just a moment.
books.
I'll need your bank account ID.
Oh,
to
yeah,
refund
yeah,
you
yeah.
and some stuff. So give me just a second. How you doing?
I just don't know how there isn't reasonable doubt when there wasn't a picture of your possessions for the gun. That's the only thing I'm sort of trying to figure out.
Mimo.
Hey.
How you feel about all that?
Don't know how them not having a
I
picture isn't
feel a
reasonable doubt.
certain. I mean, I feel a certain way, but you know, this is some like.
I think it's just a flawed system in a way.
No, it's 100. It's not flawed because the PD never used to do shit like this.
I think they need to raise the standards of what a warrant is because we don't have a fair trial before we're sentenced when it comes to warrants. Now, if you're just caught in a crime, it's different, right? Like, it's way fucking
The
different.
rule of thumb used to be that warrant should be something that will hold up in court.
Exactly.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. And
Exactly.
some way along the way, they forgot. So.
Not just probable cause. I mean, I understand that, but they don't understand when you put a warrant out, that's pretty much sentencing that person.
Precisely. So, yeah.
Skipper.
I don't know.
Yo! Name with a big 50 bomb, bro.
You know, there's a lot.
Beast, man. Appreciate you.
I don't know what to think anymore. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like what is like what do you say to as a lawyer? Hey, you know, if you're planning to do anything interesting, you best clap the cops. Don't try. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Well, I'm glad we beat most of it, but
May I step over here?
Zaki, come over here. Do what you're over there for. So what did it end up getting charged with? Just criminal use and possession?
So you got charged with the criminal use from that yellow jack thing, and then the possession of the gun from yesterday.
Just because there's casings there?
Yeah, I guess so.
For criminal use, yeah, all you need.
Oh,
is
and Ember
cases.
fucking ratted me out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we gotta go fuck up Ember after this.
Yeah, you should be getting like 12 grand back, I think.
Okay. Turtle, there with the 5 gift. Appreciate you as well.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I lost like 150k yesterday. That shit's wounding.
All right, Mr. Kebun, I just put my number in the limb list. If you could text me your bank account ID, and I'm gonna do some math here. I became a lawyer and a judge not because of my math skills, so please give me a moment while I add all these different charges together and see what your refund's gonna be.
What's your name again, Your Honor?
Arnold Weiss, W-E-I-S.
Oh, yeah, I voted for you. You were at that thing at Legion Square, right?
Yes, I was. Charges, all right.
Quad file. Yo, chat, I appreciate the love, man. I know, my fucking... I know, guys. My cap lock is always fucking on. Okay, there you go. Qualify, maybe the 10 gifted as well. Appreciate you, bro. That's a good court case, though. I mean, we didn't get all the dubs. Just one little bleh, but overall, I mean, I think it was a pretty good case, pretty good ruling. I think the warrant system's just a little wonky. Is what it really
For the
is.
4 charges that you were found not guilty of, you'll be receiving a refund of $11,413. Okay.
Perfect.
Let me get your bank account ID here.
Because I get what he's saying, like the judge, blah, 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 whatever, but I think the warrant system is just kind of fucked.
Let me put the report numbers in here.
Bail idea is not bad, but I don't think they need to do all that, you know? I think it's just simple as raise the standard of warrants, because warrants are basically arrests. Like you do the full time, everything.
Okay. Your refund has been issued, and I will get those charges removed from your record right now.
All right. Thank you, boss.
All right, no worries. If you guys have any other questions or anything, you know how to reach me.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you.